Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors will not be keeping Gary Payton and could go to the rival Lakers. Warriors will gift Lakers their defensive stopper if surging rumors prove true. GPII's time with the Warriors might be over. The Golden State Warriors are set to make a heartbreaking but perhaps necessary move on the eve of free agency, with the future of fan-favorite guard Gary Payton too now very much up in the air. According to Warriors insider Monty Poole of NBC Sports Bay Area on Saturday, Payton's return to Golden State is in serious jeopardy, citing a source who says it's looking doubtful. The career of Gary Payton too at the Warriors might be over. Payton is coming off a 3-year, $27 million contract he originally signed with the Portland Trail Blazers after the Warriors' 2022 championship, before being quickly reacquired by the franchise in a trade involving former second overall pick James Wiseman at the 2023 midseason deadline. The 32-year-old remains Golden State's go-to guy as a stopper out on the perimeter, but his offensive limitations, particularly as a shooter, may mean there's little market for him this offseason beyond a veteran minimum contract. The arrival of Florida guard Will Richard with the 56th overall pick on Thursday may have put a significant nail into Payton's career at the franchise, with the 22-year-old a potentially younger and cheaper alternative as outlined here following the second round of the draft. The Lakers could target Gary Payton too in free agency. The Warriors' reluctance to re-sign Payton could gift rivals an opportunity to pounce in free agency, including the Los Angeles Lakers, who need to target defensive-minded players to fit with the superstar duo of Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Payton could certainly fill a void for a team that ranked 17th on defense last season, having previously played 11 games for the Lakers in 2017-18 before eventually carving out a certified role in the league with the Warriors. Trevor Lane of Lakers Nation recently floated Payton as a potential option for Los Angeles on the veterans minimum, while also listing fellow Golden State free agent Kevin Looney, and former Warrior guards DeAnthony Melton and Chris Paul, as possible targets for the franchise. Seeing Payton depart the Warriors would be a sad blow in itself given his stature as a beloved champion, but having him head to the Lakers would rub further salt into the wound. It would mean seeing more of him as a member of a Pacific rival, creating more potential matchups where he'd guard Stephen Curry. Payton ironically played his last game for Portland against Golden State in February 2023, recording 9 points and 3 rebounds as a Curry-less Warriors went down 125-122 on the road at Moda Center. As with Looney, Payton's future is likely to be on the back burner until the Warriors resolve their complicated situation with Jonathan Kuminga, while any interest from the Lakers may also be dependent on the future of wing defender Dorian Finney-Smith. Warriors all but sealed Jonathan Kuminga's fate amid free agency rumors. With free agency drawing ever so near following the completion of the NBA draft, the future of Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga is about to reach a resolution one way or another. If not for the CBA complications and the fact the Warriors can only take back 50% of Kuminga's outgoing salary, there's a strong likelihood that player and franchise would part ways after 4 turbulent seasons characterized by a roller coaster role under head coach Steve Kerr. Jonathan Kuminga's time with the Warriors may have come to an end. Even accounting for the CBA and the difficulty of executing a sign-and-trade, Kuminga's departure from Golden State may be all but sealed regardless. Speaking to Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard after Thursday's second round of the draft, General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. blatantly left Kuminga out of his statement regarding the team's current core players and how they'll build around them this offseason. "I think the biggest thing for us is knowing the guys that are going to be here. How do we complement around them? How do we complement around Steph and Jimmy and Draymond and BP and Moses, go down the list?" As Kawakami alluded to in his report, perhaps it's understandable for Dunleavy to omit Kuminga when his future is facing so much uncertainty. Yet it also wouldn't have done any harm to include Kuminga, and would have demonstrated the franchise's strong desire to retain him. Instead, it's the sort of statement from the GM that suggests the Warriors aren't absolutely desperate to keep the 22-year-old, even despite his flashes of brilliance in the second round of the playoffs where he averaged nearly 25 points on over 55% shooting across the last 4 games against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Almost as interesting is the fact Dunleavy mentioned Golden State's other 2021 lottery pick, Moses Moody, as part of the core alongside the star veteran trio and young guard Brandon Podziemski. The Warriors found an agreeable extension with Moody ahead of the deadline in October, but the former 14th overall pick and his new 3-year, $37.5 million contract are still viewed by many as a potential trade candidate this summer. Kuminga's market has begun to take shape in the week leading up to free agency, with the Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat and Sacramento Kings all linked to a move for the 6'7" forward. Based on Dunleavy's comments after the draft, Kuminga's departure from the Warriors is seemingly inevitable. Raptors gift Warriors intriguing big man target after front office shakeup. Could a reunion be on the cards? Masai Ujiri, the architect behind a Toronto Raptors team that beat the Golden State Warriors in the 2019 NBA Finals, is officially out as vice chairman and president of the franchise in a surprise decisión on Friday. The decision may be one thing, but the timing of it is the real stunning element given we're right between the NBA draft and the start of free agency. It throws the Raptors into a little bit of turmoil and uncertainty, perhaps gifting the Warriors an opportunity to reunite with a former big man. Chris Boucher has been floated as a free agent target for the Warriors. While the future of Jakob Poeltl may be the topic that most discuss in the wake of Ujiri's axing, it's Toronto's own free agents that are likely to be a more pressing issue in the short term. One of those is former Golden State center Chris Boucher, who played 1 game with the franchise while on a 2-way contract in 2017-18, securing the first of his 2 championship rings in the process. Boucher won a title the following year as well with Raptors, having remained with his home team ever since. But things could now change after concluding a 3-year, $35.3 million contract, with Boucher set to become a free agent where Toronto's sudden instability could play a factor. The 32-year-old certainly isn't a fancy name that will thrill Warrior fans, but the franchise does need to address its center position after declaring their desire not to have Draymond Green continue as a small ball starting 5. Boucher's name came up on the latest episode of the Warriors Plus Minus podcast, with Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard mentioning the veteran as a possible depth option. "My other favorite, I listed him on my possible target list. You get him for the minimum, Chris Boucher," Kawakami said. "Fans would love him for the minimum. If he's your 12th man, you could do worse than that." Boucher was productive in averaging 10.0 points and 4.5 rebounds in 17.2 minutes this past season, shooting 49.2% from the floor and 36.3% from three-point range. His best season came in 2020-21 when he finished 8th in 6th Man of the Year voting, averaging a career-high 13.6 points and 6.7 rebounds on 38.3% shooting from deep. Boucher won't be the answer for the Warriors' starting center conundrum, meaning that the franchise should be aiming higher entering free agency. Yet as Kawakami points out, a reunion between player and franchise wouldn't be the worst option on a minimum contract. Warriors' Jonathan Kuminga has clear request on next contract heading into free agency. Jonathan Kuminga is commanding quite a bit of attention heading into the offseason. A divorce between the young forward and the Golden State Warriors has seemed likely since the club landed Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline. There's less room for Kuminga to develop into a star now as the Warriors will focus on adding complementary pieces to Stephen Curry, Draymond Green and Bolter on their roster. Kuminga, on the other hand, wants to be an all-star. With the Warriors' current situation and roster in place, it's hard for the G League Ignite product to explore and develop his game to that point. The two sides are headed into free agency with big decisions to make. Kuminga wants more opportunity, while the Warriors want to complement their aging trio and keep financial flexibility. A recent report regarding Kuminga's offseason wishes might just get in the way of that, though. According to Clutch Point's Brett Siegel, the 22-year-old forward is aiming for more than $30 million annually. The Warriors have made it clear that they want to maintain financial flexibility moving forward. Keeping Kuminga would come at a significant cost for Golden State, as he wants a deal that pays him over $30 million per year, Siegel reports. If Kuminga got the opportunity to play in a heavy usage role, his asking for this annual salary wouldn't sound all that crazy. Chicago Bulls guard Josh Giddey is a prime example. He was traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder to a situation that allowed him to play in a role an all-star or future star might expect, and he played his way into a big contract. Giddey is also reportedly asking for more than $30 million annually, which seems to be the market for that level of young player, which remains slightly raw in terms of their potential. The Warriors might find value in a sign-and trade, which allows Kuminga to find a desired opportunity while earning the most he can. The most value they could recoup, though, would come at the trade deadline next season, as the Warriors could trade Kuminga's full salary, whereas a sign-and trade would only allow them to return a partial portion of his salary. Warriors trade idea flips Moses Moody for rangy $48 million center. The Golden State Warriors have to figure out the future of Jonathan Kuminga, who will become a restricted free agent on Monday, June 30th. But the franchise's first piece of business beyond that contractual quagmire is finding a two-way center. Bobby Marks of ESPN suggested on Saturday flipping Moses Moody to New York for Mitchell Robinson, but the Knicks center is an offensive liability in just about every sense of the word. He has never attempted a three-point shot in his 7-year NBA career, and the Indiana Pacers took to fouling him off the ball in the middle of Eastern Conference Finals games during this postseason. As good as Robinson is defensively and despite what he can offer on the offensive glass, the Warriors would perhaps be better suited to find a player with more two-way upside. Names like Brook Lopez and Al Horford come to mind, though they are both free agents and it is unclear what Golden State will be able to do from a free agency perspective until the Kuminga situation is resolved. Another potential option is a trade with the Portland Trail Blazers for Robert Williams III. Williams, 27, can't spread the floor offensively with his shooting like Horford and Lopez, but he is a high-level rim runner and lob threat. Williams is also a quality rim protector who can switch on defense and stay in front of perimeter threats. The caveat to all of that, however, is when healthy, which Williams has not been for the last several seasons. Williams has played in just 61 games over the past 3 years. That said, when he played 61 games in 2021-22 for the Boston Celtics, he earned second-team All-Defense honors and finished 7th in the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year voting. Marks suggested the Los Angeles Lakers take a swing on Williams by trading Gabe Vincent, Jordan Goodwin and a second-round pick for the $48 million center entering the final season of his 4-year contract. Moody's $37.5 million contract over 3 years carries a salary cap hit of $13.45 million next season, which matches almost exactly the $13.29 million total on Williams' deal in 2025 and wouldn't require a second player to make the money work. Williams would be a swing on behalf of the Warriors, though if he doesn't work out the team could move on with no financial headaches after the upcoming campaign.